Fans and critics have not only taken to the music of Pantayo, but to what the collective stands for. Musically, they explore the possibility of the traditions and instruments of Southern Philippine kulintang via electronic music and synth-based grooves. Their experiences as queer diasporic Filipinas define and inspire a fresh, original, creative, and unapologetic stance and example on stage and off.
Because I think the biggest difference between now and then and when we were meeting before on a weekly basis was that we would just kind of hash out an idea.
Because Michelle has been sending song ideas. Maybe Michelle and I could do workshops and ideas while the three of you are doing like coolie things.
My name is Irene and I am the keyboardist, bassist, and vocalist of Pantayo. My pronouns are she, they, and playing with a band like Pantayo has allowed me to focus on composing and arranging, which I love. I find there's strength in those numbers and strength in the fact that Pantayo has members that have a wide range of musical interests.
My name is Kat from Pantayo. I'm a diasporic queer woman of color that centers intentional and embodied remembering in creating for the senses. Listening to sounds and non-sounds is a big part of my life and is my primary way of learning. Seeking a better life in another country, providing for the future, getting uprooted and disconnected. These are sacrifices that many immigrant families know too well, including my own. Sometimes I feel nostalgic about a reality that could have been. Sometimes ragey, often confused. And when doubt clouds my mind, I find that creating for myself and with others is the most unlikely cure. For me, being able to make music with Pantayo is essential to not only healing from the past, but also in shaping a future that I can be excited about. So who am I and what do I believe in? Aspects of myself that I choose to divulge are almost always identifiers, referencing nouns I associate with the most, which can continue to perpetuate systems of oppression or challenge them to their course. Katrina is the name I was given at birth at the metropolitan city called Manila in the group of islands now called the Philippines. Somewhere along the way, I was uprooted and replanted in Toronto as a settler immigrant benefiting from colonial and capitalist systems that continue to displace and dissolve. I could also say that I am a transient being on the path of consciousness given this limited time on earth with a body and mind, with blessings and lessons that help me transcend. I recognize I've been gifted a mind that can think outside of the box and an ear that helps synthesize sounds drawn from current and imagined memories. It is with this bounty that I'm able to rejig and recreate creation. LOL, but also for real, for real.
My name is Jo. I was born in the Philippines. Looking back at my childhood, karaoke, radio, and lip syncing played a big part. I kind of laugh and look fondly at the complicated and funny relationship I've always had with music school, bands, and how that's kind of shaped my relationship to music.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I was born in the Philippines and I migrated to Canada in the 90s. There was so much about myself that I used to hate. You know, this self-hate from built-up shame and guilt became my number one inspiration to hide who I truly was. This moment changed the course of my life. You know, I start to feel a sense of freedom and I was, you know, feeling a little bit empowered. You know, this is when I went back to school. I met Pantayo. Yeah, and now I realize that because I'm able to love myself truly, freely, and fiercely, that I'm also able to love outwards as well.
No, we know world stoppers, we are world class. Sisters gonna comfort the system with a beat. Won't listen to the beat of our instrument, sound of our resistance. We won't be your enemy, and if you fuck up, here we go.
بنا شافع كترضى الصلاة
Fusing rumba, flamenco, and traditional music from North Africa, including Gnawa and Chabi, La Bes reflects not only cultural diversity, but the necessity of uniting despite our differences.
زيد كتر في صلاته يا الفاني بعد حياتنا بنا شافع
Founder and frontman Najim Buzul sings in Arabic, French, and Spanish about exile, the joys and the distress that punctuate the road from native country to welcoming country, and back again, ultimately embodying the definition of the group's Arabic name, All Is Well.
I grew up in Algeria until 18 years old. So we came to Quebec, Canada, with my family, and I started in the subway, playing on the street and busking. It's my school. So when somebody gives you money, it's that he liked your music. So it's a good school, and even now we do like big venues and stuff, but I come back always to the subway and to the street, because for me it's the real life, and you connect with people. My influences are like two roots, like the African roots and the gypsies roots. So it's a mix with Arab people, Jewish people, gypsy people, and Spanish people. So it's a kind of fusion too. there is a fourth album coming in this September. It's joining like Arab music, flamenco music with South American and Colombian, Cuban music together. The name of this album is Yema. Yema means mom, my mom, mother, because I think that my mother was a warrior. She was with 3 kids in Algeria. My father died really young, at 37 years old, and she was like running all the stuff, the job and everything. And so this album, it's for me, it's like important. It's a homage for my mother, Sarah.
Ma liberté, longtemps je t'ai gardé comme une perle rare. Ma liberté, c'est toi qui m'as aidé à larguer les amarres pour aller jusqu'au bout, pour aller n'importe où, des chemins de fortune. Cueillir en rêvant une rose des vents sur un rayon de lune. Ma liberté devant tes volontés, mon âme était soumise. Ma liberté, je t'avais pourtant tout donné. Ma dernière chemise. Et combien j'ai souffert satisfaire tes moindres exigences. J'ai changé de pays, j'ai perdu mes amis pour gagner ta confiance. Ma liberté, tu as su désarmer toutes mes habitudes. Ma liberté, toi qui m'as fait aimer, même la solitude. Toi qui m'as fait sourire quand je voyais fini une belle aventure. Toi quand j'allais me cacher pour soigner mes blessures. Toi qui m'as fait sourire quand je voyais fini une belle aventure. Toi qui m'as protégé quand j'allais me cacher pour soigner mes blessures. Ma liberté, pourtant je t'ai quitté. De décembre, j'ai déserté des chemins écartés que nous suivions ensemble. Lorsque sans me méfier, les pieds et poings liés, je me suis laissé faire.
Born to Haitian parents in Montreal, Wally is a self-taught jack of many trades: rapper, guitarist, beatmaker, and more. His career in music was foreshadowed by the eagerness of his father, an accomplished guitarist, to share the music of home with a young Wally. His discovery and love affair with hip-hop focused his career's direction. Also a member of the hip-hop collective Nomadic Massive, his solo sound is inspired by his upbringing, plus soul, funk, afropop, jazz, Haitian, and Afro-Caribbean musical influences, and the work of Black activists.
Hey yo, what up everybody? My name is Wally. I'm happy to be with y'all tonight or today. Wherever you be in the world, come closer to the screen. We're gonna have a good time. I'm surrounded by amazing musicians. We're gonna do a nice show just for you.
I'm interested in Caribbean Creole languages and the case of Trinidadian French Mexican Creole is very special.
Come closer, everybody, come on.
To travel high into the woods or deep into forests to find the last speakers of a dying language.
Cette tradition paraît mettre trahison. Rio nous compte manger Rio et ça qui fait connaître. C'est dans la suite, moi et ma vie m'a toujours été fidèle. Pas mandé qui côté, même si qu'il est dans moi. Nous pas soumettre pour des temps, mais c'est pas un temps d'honneur. You wanna do it for some feelings, make yourself with it. Mais c'est normal que ça nous regarde dans mon capoeira. Et l'amour, grâce à yo, nous t'es caporal. En accord, en désaccord, moi pas fait dans l'île. Mais si on fait au cap, vous voyez mon cap postal. Pas mandé, commandant dans pour Mandela. Télécharger qui vient chez nous, on s'y prône. Saisi, Jean Mosaïen t'es dit, nous pas gagner pour de petit, mais c'est comme ça nous ouais, des racines, des naissances qui pas qu'à des dents, toute richesse qui n'appelle qu'on est fait dans tourner, avec qui l'aime, on prend bien ça, on se divise, on gagne des rêves, on doit bouger des bords, mon cher, on prend rien pour nous, on prend mon type, nous pas besoin à travail, nous c'est le festival, on sortit de mon sein, on partage des fritailles, on fait des autres bouillots, on fait tout être, on pas bétail, nous c'est pour nous,
Mensuyo was my first song that I ever wrote in Haitian Creole, like a full song, like my whole solo material. So, and this song talks about once your like shoulders are heavy with burdens and like stress and problems, you know, it's not necessary to put more weight on their shoulders because they're already going through a struggle. So I always felt I identify with that because the struggle of being Black and born in Montreal has been a struggle to also have to show and prove your identity, and then it's always been this like constant conflict, identity crisis. Even though like my first language I was saying is Haitian Creole, I never spoke Creole until I was like kind of a teen age. My parents was always like, you need to learn French and speak French well because it's a very difficult language and that's where you need to focus. You don't need to learn about Creole. But despite I'm like Quebecois, Canadian, born and raised here, people always perceived me as, you know, a Black person. They used to always be like, you know, hey, where you from? I was like, I'm from Montreal. And they were like, no, really, where you from? You know, that classic, you know, double question making you feel like, okay, sense of belonging's kind of gone. So I was like, well, you know, I think it's important for me to learn Creole, Haitian Creole, because it's part of my identity, you know? And part of my identity, I think it's important to solidify that part of me because it's part of me. It's a part of my parents' history and my ancestors and the storyline of my life, basically. Having to learn Haitian Creole, I think, gave me the sense of the strength that I needed to also be strong in confronting the obstacles that was put in front of me in regard to my musical journey.
We're gonna jump on the next song. It's off my latest EP called Soul Opera. Next song is called Rad. All wrapped in my Haitian Creole mother tongue. So check it out. Rad means clothes, so we're changing clothes. Bringing vibes. Yeah. Côté me sorti, ce sont bien mariner. Mon créa, quand y'aime fait miracle, la demain, qu'elle est. Pas qu'on est pour qui ça y a m'traîner. L'aime pour faire nous, c'est pour marcher qu'on fait l'air. Avant ma noyée, tête moins non bol clair. Fait ménage dans tête femme, en plus, marchand général. C'est pour ça, ça m'a fait, c'est pour telle femme. Des familles qui ont grandi, mais ça fait une compétition. Pas jambe la caille, son bon nomade. Pas jambe rexit, là, ce qu'on les pieds bourrés. Moins qu'on l'emmène, moins pas jambe qu'un décrasse. Pile ou face, ou les barrières, ça fait longtemps pas qu'on chasse. Chaque jour, même bagaille, nous vînes pour le travail. Sous on chante bataille, t'as vîne pour VI. C'est bon vibe, nous vînes bye. Si on négatif, ça m'a tout c'est bye bye. Bon bye bye. Got it, got it, got it, got it. Come on. When head up at the pizza, go make on it, go tila. Pizza, baby, bagazita. La pizza, ma po, zita. C'est pour ça, tout est là, tout est là. Pour là, on aime ça, tout comme ça, on la viva. Moi j'ai allé monter les bols céréales dans même. Télé encrassée, trop soufflette dans tête. Demandez grand-maman pour qui ça wap calil. Regardez mon solizime, c'est pour diable en sortie. Les petits mounions, t'es dans des visages, et puis on relève nec charbon. Non, moi c'est nec marron. J'ai quitté dans le pied, crassé depuis longtemps. Kounia dans vidéo, mais c'est dans qu'on a mes chaînes. Ça matériel, temporel. Comme ça, si belle ou d'arrêt, même bon jumelle. T'as mieux tourné, vous quittez Marseillais. Maintenant c'est un comportement qu'on nouvelle c'est belle. Gaïe, 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 gaïe. Tout comme ça,
My musical journey really started with my dad being a guitar player. He used to play a lot of, plucking, riffing, like Haitian songs, beautiful songs too, Léon Dimanche, Tabou Combo, Coupé Cloué. But basically, I fell in love with hip-hop culture in the 90s through radio, community radio stations, which used to play all hip-hop music at 3 a.m. So you had to be up at that time to record on tape cassettes. The first song that I heard, like from De La Soul, for example, Say No Go, I identify myself right away. There was no question asked. I didn't speak the language, which was really interesting. I didn't speak English at that time, but I was like, damn, man, that song speaks to me. There's something that resonated that I was like, wow, and I needed to know more. And that's why I was staying up. I used to press record and, fall asleep. The next day I was like, I didn't know what my tape was recorded it. The next day I was listening to my tape and I could hear the radio host talking over some dope instrumental that I wanted to rap on. The next day I was like, damn, man, the radio host is just talking too much right now. I'm trying to rap on this beat, But then I didn't speak English, but interestingly enough, I was writing the raps phonetically and then reciting them, and I was like, I know it was all gibberish. I was like, hey, what's up, it's up there. It's a little map, it's up there. That's how this journey happened.
I'm happy to be here with y'all tonight, right here, right now, in this moment. We're gonna jump on the last song. It's called Blier Ça. There's a video. You can check it out on YouTube. And then Blier Ça means forget about it. It's about taking your space, owning your space, be who you are at the time and the moment and space that you exist. So let's do it. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. For Jacques. Yeah. Nous gen wa, nous gen nous pour, nous gen pouvoir. C'est pour ça yo demandé m'ki j'en pas gachita. Si maintenant qui paye corps, gen moun qui bat les corps. C'est pas yo qui gade l'homme yo, mon juge en on y est d'eau, la tournée, expérience en libre besoin. J'ai un pour gabouin, merci de l'on samedi. Oiseau il fait des chutes, n'a une dignité, ouais, il est perdu. Non, mon c'est belle. Yo se riche pas les nous carré qui dans mon petit gagner nous fait fini. C'est tic, nous on travaille pour faire. Pas qu'à pratique, pas ça, les picots passo. Sorti mon coup de jet, y'a touché ça net. Et les savent pas qu'on est meilleur que type l'autre jour. Et yo qui continue, mais l'on va compte caché. Mais les maris à monter dans ouais ça gagne. Yo, pas blé pour nous dire là. Les gentils, yo, mais ça. Yo, pas blé pour nous dire là. Les gentils, yo, mais ça. Yo, pas blé pour nous dire là. Nous passons les à chouette, l'un des jeunes, les sommes, les bateaux d'un grand monde, gagner mon jack, nous avons ces signes sous nous. Tous nous pris, nous battons, donc nous c'est qu'à la loup, tendez. Des gros rêves, nous tous besoin d'entendre, des gros malades, n'a pas chez des ronds, on demande. Là, mon poste pour moi, gardez le vrai bon. C'est mon dossier qui est 1-8-0-4, quel est le fou? Yo pas boy, yo v'l'en plier, quel est le sou? Ma pour tourner la gagne, gagne, ou pas gagne coup. Y'a des gens là qui parlent sous nous. On s'est les putes, on nous fait manger au soupe, je mouille, yo pas blé, pour nous, tu es là. Yo me plie ça, yo parle pour nous t'es là. Les gentils yo me plie ça, yo parle pour nous t'es là. Les gentils yo me plie ça, yo parle pour nous t'es là. Come on, tout le monde, everybody, yo, et yo, bébé, à qui j'en nous compte fouetter, devant, derrière, si on pile les ponts en l'air, bébé, à qui j'en nous compte fouetter. Les ponts en l'air, regardez derrière, pour bouger devant. Quand si mon y'a quand c'est faut quitter le palais. Regardez derrière, pour bouger devant. Pas pousser la motion, je vous parle. Regardez mon yo, ti yo là. Et c'est mon ti à petit cougnard. Et ça fait date mon cher nous là. Et nous pas bouger ça. Yo pas plein pour nous dire là. Mais je dis yo me plie ça. Yo pas plein pour nous dire là. Mais je dis yo me plie ça. Yo pas plein pour nous dire là. Mais je dis yo me plie ça. Yo pas you for watching. Wally, peace, and thanks to all these musicians right here. Give a big shout out. JM, Thomas, Teacup, Farley, and my man Evan Shea. And the one in the back who screamed Forjak. Big shout out to Brother Beats.
From finding their calling at underground warehouse party performance winning TVA's Fait comme chez vous at Télévisée Musique Compétition Montréal, the Liquor Store is not your average jazz band. Meeting in music school while studying jazz, adding funk, R&B, and more to the mix, and working across Montreal's fertile hip-hop, funk, and culturally diverse music scene has created a desire to cross musical boundaries.
We met in college here in Montreal. At some point I really wanted to have a band for myself where I could compose and have other band members compose for it too, and then I knew about a gig in my hometown that I really wanted to play at, so I got together a couple of friends of mine that I thought were the best musicians from that school.
The band started 10 years ago. We found ourselves when we played at an underground party with lots of room. It was like an empty warehouse, very cool. And that's when we found our calling. We played for a lot of people, and we were a little bit more funky that night. And that's when the idea of the liquor store came into life.
Just identifying a style of the band. For us, it doesn't really matter. We just try to write good music, but people seem to like labels, and we're not quite jazz, we're not quite funk. We kind of just do our thing.
The 7 members came from very different musical backgrounds. So some of us started out playing in rock bands and metal bands. Some of us were really into hip hop. Our saxophone, Alex Rancor, was really deep into jazz. So I guess everybody came up with different kind of ideas to compose. So there was like a process of composition that included lots of varying styles, and we tried to really never put ourselves in a box where we had to accomplish just one specific style. So I guess that's what makes a very nice blend of all kinds of music and makes our music very original.
So in terms of collaborations, we want to put Montreal more on the map. We have a lot of great talent from here, so we want to expand with international collaborations and include some musicians from Montreal to really get things going, you know?